Dumelang, and welcome to everyone that is joining us. The name is Mandisa Mgadi, and this is our developer show where we interact with developers, where they tell us more about the reputation that they have in the property industry. We were able to build trust with our developers and just gain more of a closer relationship, in terms of the development opportunities that are available. Today, we are joined by Merrick, who is representing Leogem Property Projects. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, good day to you, Mandisa, and to your viewers from let's say, a rather chilly, cold Gauteng.
Definitely. I mean, it's chilly in here as well. So, we just always have to keep warm in this time. I just wish that I could have obviously some warm tea, but just getting straight into it, Merrick, it's important to understand that for anyone buying a house, or purchasing a house, that property is one of the biggest investments one will have to do. And more so who you buy from is such an important factor to consider. This is the whole aim of the show, where we are able to interact with developers and just gain more of an understanding as investors and as buyers, where we can build trust and a close relationship with them. So just in talking about that, can you just share with us Leogem Properties' history and the reputation in the property industry? What would you say makes you stand out from other developers?
Well, certainly, Mandisa, and if we look back, the company Leogem Property Projects was formed in 1992, been going for 28 years, and have done a number of commercial and residential developments. Obviously, residential is what our focus is here, and I'm sitting in our development, the Hutton. I'm sitting on the patio, and as you see in the background is completed units in phase one of this development. Buying a property, as you well said, is the general person's single biggest investment, and buying the right kind of property is essential to making sure that you're going to get some return on that investment. Further to that as well is obviously buying in the right area. Location is key. Every person in real estate is going to say location. And that is ultimately going to be the single biggest selling point at that period in time, and also for you when you want to resell and then realize what return you're going to get on your investment.
Definitely. It's also important to just note that by simply owning the house that you live in, that you are investing in property. And, I think that, for so many people, we disregard the fact that, we have a home and we've got a family, and you forget the fact that you are still investing in property by just, living in that space. So how would you say Leogem Property has been able to fulfill the property gap in South Africa?
Certainly, I think our developments are very much around what the market is looking for. We are primarily based in Midrand. We have done developments in Bryanston. But if I look at our Midrand developments and now the Hutton, which we're talking about here, is we're fulfilling a niche, a market that is not currently being met in the area. This development comprises of only 3 and 4 bedroom homes. And the target here is more towards the family. So, yes, it has an investment component to it, and by getting involved and buying and servicing a bond over time, you're going to certainly get that investment component of it. But it's more a family-orientated focus around this. When you look at the investment market generally, investors are looking to buying smaller, more affordable, manageable type of properties where they can get a tenant in there and work it only with a tenant. Whereas these homes, I think the focus is more towards the family. And on that being said, is more to going towards the lifestyle. And that's what this is doing. Bringing in the aesthetic of the area, bringing in the community of Crowthorne and Midrand, and adapting that with our development.
So Leogem Properties is more focused on family-orientated investment. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, on this particular side. However, on our future development that we're going to be having is going to have a slant more towards also the investment component. And with that, with the advent of inclusionary housing, we certainly have to have a combination of both in the development. So now future developments are going to have, obviously, if your development is more than 20 units, you have to incorporate inclusionary housing, and that needs to be that would then have a slant towards the investor side of things. This particular development, key focus is around family lifestyle and family wellness. and offering the benefits that a family would look for: space, security, size of house, and facilities as well. You know, a club gymnasium with a swimming pool. I hope we've got a picture that may come up on that, but that is the focus. It is to give the lifestyle a state. And coming back to that point again on location, Midrand is just by far one of the best locations around in terms of access to major arterial routes right now.
Thank you, Merrick. You know, before we go on to the location, and I'm so excited to obviously hear all about the development, you know, we have to consider the market conditions when investing in property. And obviously, with the pandemic that we are facing, which has had such a hard knock on our economy, and we know that the property sector plays such an important and contribution, I would say, to the economy. Would you say now is the best time to invest in property?
Absolutely, without doubt. There's never a bad time to invest in property, but there are obviously better times. You know, when you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, housing and shelter is one of the primary concerns. So you need to be in property of some sort. By buying or renting, you fulfill that particular side of it. Now, COVID-19 has put a tremendous spin on things right now, but property ownership and property and taking advantage of getting into property now is a good time. Let's just focus on the interest rate decline. And if I just give you a number, this will blow your mind back. Is that when we took this particular 4-bedroom unit that I'm in right now, it came onto market at 3 million rand. And if I go back to the interest rates at 10.25% of last year, 2019, that would have been on a 100% loan, a repayment in the order of 29,000 rand a month. With obviously and what has happened and the drive down in interest rates, this is now what is showing people the affordability in terms of getting in and making now the time to buy. Because the same unit right now at the 7.25 prime rate is 23,671, which is a saving of 5,700 rand per month. And that's a lot of money that people have budgeted for last year when they entered into an agreement to buy and are about to take occupation, as we're very close to occupation. But that disposable money now, that additional 5,700 rand, can get put back into their bond to drive it down. At that particular rate, you can now start considering a second cheaper unit somewhere else that you can now consider as an investment unit. You could comfortably on 5,700 buy a 650,000 rand townhouse somewhere and look at to being now a landlord and have a tenant in there, because nothing has changed in your life in terms of where you had committed to buying and what the interest rates have done. And talk is that interest rates are still looking to go down a little bit more towards the end of the year. And we do know we cannot see a major incline in interest rates really shortly. It has to be spaced over probably for the next year or two and keep them consistently low. So coming back to your question, when is the right time to buy property? And is now the right time? Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you for that. There's obviously so much of benefits and, you know, so much of saving opportunity in this time where we are facing a pandemic, but, you know, we definitely are advised to still invest in property. Just in light of the COVID that we are facing right now, how has this affected the daily operation of the company? You know, maybe you can talk us through some of the tools that you're now making use of to still engage with clients.
Well, definitely, and there was no user manual how to deal with COVID-19, so we're all put into a very unique situation, and I think those who adapted and worked through it, I think, have come out better for it. It has affected everybody. COVID has affected, and more so, where it's affected us in this development is construction had to stop, and we stopped on the 26th of March, which for 2 months until the 1st of June. Put us in a position of where construction could not continue. That setback obviously delays occupation for our clients. As you can see, my phase 1 is complete here. I just want people to come and live in their homes, but that has been a setback. However, we didn't take our eye off the ball with this, and we utilized the time to engage with our clients through the mediums that we now have available to us, making use of the private property channel, Matterport 3D videos, utilizing technology and bringing that to the client. YouTube videos, we created a number of videos that are pertinent to what was happening. You know, we spoke about our particular developments and giving them walkthroughs We then also had an agent introductory video, because as you and I are talking, we've now met over an inquiry or a lead, you're just another number at the end of the telephone. So our agents engaged with our potential clients by sending a personalized video to kind of be the icebreaker. And when we could then get to hosting you at our development and take you through to show us our wonderful product at that point, but at least we're not strangers. So we've made tremendous efforts in terms of utilizing technology. And whilst we're in lockdown, we also had another interest rate cut, which again was just feeding that information through to people while keeping them abreast of these opportunities. When we got back on the 1st of June, when we got back into the office, we had a pipeline that I could brag about. It was a tremendous amount of people that wanted to come through our development. And we have been inundated with people coming through. It's been phenomenal. I've got to thank Private Property, obviously, for the platform, and because that has driven business our way through the use of Matterport videos and showing our property to clients.
Yes, Merrick, you are most welcome. This is what we aim to do. And obviously in this time, we're obviously looking for better ways to still engage and to interact with our developers and our potential buyers and investors. I think this is what's most important, that we make use of alternate ways to still keep in contact. So, just before we go on ad break, if you can just talk to us about some of the services that are offered by a Leogem agent in terms of when a buyer is approaching what are some of the services that are offered?
An interesting question, because as a developer, we offer a fully encompassed package offering. We have our own origination, internal origination, to assist people in terms of from the finance part of it. More so is let me just backtrack one or two steps and engage with our own sales team that we have. We don't make use of outside agents. We have our own dedicated team of salespeople, and that's imperative because the relationship starts from when we engage with the client all the way through to transfer as well. And our agents will be holding the person's hand and taking them through that. Obviously, demonstrating and showing the property that we do have, or the selection of unit types that we got, which is in line with what the family are looking for in terms of requirements and also affordability. Some people would like to live in a fantastic home, but maybe the affordability is not just there, and they may have to come down and find something that's more affordable. But more importantly is getting themselves into a good lifestyle development. The agent is on hand to actively advise them of what the requirements are needed in order to get the requirements from a financial point of view. My bond origination department will assist clients in terms of going to all the major banks as well, and even for those that have private bankers at Investec and RMB as well, is actually working with them and assisting in terms of getting the finance sorted out, and then from there getting the approval and moving right through to transfer. And our agent walks that road with the client to transfer. When we eventually give the handover and the keys to the new home, it's all been done because that interaction has taken place right from when the initial meeting took place.
Merrick, the success of any property investment depends on the investor, buyer, and the relationship that they have with developers. So guys, just remember that if you have any questions, that you can drop them down on the comment section, and we will be just straight after the break, we're going to be more talking about the developments in question today. So stay tuned. welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are still joined by Merrick, who is representing Leogem Property Project. And we're just going to talk about the development today. And before we get to know about the unit types that are available, let's just talk about the area. You did mention that it is located in Midrand, which is one of the 8 tourist nodes in Johannesburg. I'm so excited for this development. Can you just talk us through what is the attraction to this area?
The Midrand area, and more specifically, we're in Crowthorne. Now, Crowthorne is a very equestrian community-based area as well here in Midrand. Why are we wanting to go into the Midrand area is because there's still large tracts of lands that can be used for development. But I think any development also needs to blend and mold into the area. We've taken and we've used a lot of the equestrian feel and brought it into our development. You'll see it in the architectural design as well. You'll see it on the gates that we're using as well. It's very much still going in with that equestrian horsey type of nature. But why do we like Midrand? Again, coming back to the point of location, it is a major link between Joburg and Pretoria, major link between Joburg and Pretoria, and major and quick access to easy arterial routes where we can actually get onto the highway and that lot. But yet we are far enough away to still have the quietness and the serenity of this peaceful living over here. As I say that, we still got quite a lot of wildlife running around on our estate over here. We've got a lot of bird life and that is what's so nice. Is we're not living in a concrete jungle. We have nature still part and parcel of our development here.
Now, Merrick, I do understand that you are currently on site right now. Can you just talk us through the units that are available, unit types that are available, and some of the features that are offered to residents?
So, certainly, we have our entry level, which is a 3-bedroom unit. It measures 163 square meters, and it's a single-story unit. That is also intended for probably entry level, as people might want to just get involved, and also taking into account elderly people who might not want to have stairs to manage with getting upstairs and downstairs with stairs. We have a certain number of those, and then our middle of the range, which are our double-story 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, double garages. And I have to say, double garages is standard on all our units in the development. Well, but those are measuring 207 square meters. So it's a nice size, a nice configuration, and offering a combination of upstairs sleeping area and that lot, and obviously downstairs is your lounge dining, kitchen, pantry, sculleries, etc. And then going on to our larger units, which are 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, coming in at 246 square meters. So yeah, very nicely positioned for families, growing families, quite also possibly the person who wants to work from home and utilize that 4th bedroom as a study or office as well. And the way it's priced and what the build rate is at just makes it absolutely a real good gem investment, a good buying decision. So a combination of about 5 different designs, but they're all 3 and 4 bedrooms. So again, coming back on this development to, it's more a family lifestyle estate.
Merrick, I got a chance to go through your virtual tours that you'll offer on your website, and the design, I must say, is amazing and just out of this world. And I noticed that it is inspired by a beautiful country. How would you say you've been able to consider the environments through this development, and just talk us through the design style for the specific development?
Well, when designing and starting out the project is to fit into the community. The next thing is make use of a lot of natural light and that. So the Fenstra rating is a terminology for your energy efficiency. We obviously want to aim to score highly on that. And then we need to look at the design of the house and what you can put in there. There's a lot of window, there's a lot of light, the insulation side of it. One other thing that people normally don't even take into account, we only build with clay bricks. Clay bricks are conducive to soundproofing. Clay bricks keep the temperature the fluctuation of temperature more constant. Clay bricks also don't absorb water as much as the normal cement stock bricks do. So, and they're a lot sturdier and harder as well. So longevity is one thing. And people generally don't even take that into account as well. In terms of energy efficiency as well, the development incorporates a combination of having a solar element to it as well. The geysers are smart geysers where we make use of the available sunlight to actually warm our geysers during the course of the day, and just help on the energy efficiencies around that. So we do look at all aspects of how we can make the house certainly geared for going forward and the future.
Thank you so much. You really raised up some really important factors to consider when doing a development, and considering the environments that we live in and taking care of it. It's imperative for individuals who want to create and expand the investment portfolio to be able to understand the investment side of it, investing in property. Can you just talk us through the investment steps in terms of purchasing one of these unit types? Is there any additional costs that are involved? What is the price range that we're looking at in terms of a deposit?
Certainly, and a very good question there, Mandisa. So price range, as I said, our entry-level units on phase 2 are coming in at about 2.3 million rand, going up to 3.095 million on phase 2. We are only building this development in 3 phases, and phase 1 is complete. We're just waiting for council to give us our occupation certificates, but as council, tongue-in-cheek, I'm saying they're not very functional due to COVID right now, and they've still got to get themselves going. But from an investor point of view or from a buyer point of view, is that you don't have to worry about additional costs and fees. Those are all covered. There are no transfer costs and duties when buying a new property, and those are carried by the developer. So zero outlay from that particular point for any particular buyer from that side, yes. And that's one of the benefits, I think, from buying from a developer, is you're the first owner, you're going to be first one in, and you're not exposed to the exorbitant fees charged by estate agents for selling somebody's property, and then the transfer duty because government wants their slice of the action as well. And when you add those costs in and factor it into what is the real cost of your property, there's some hidden numbers there that could scare people depending on the value that you're buying. Obviously, in the sub 1 million, you don't have your transfer costs, but if you're in the above million rand mark, you need to look at budgeting for that. Here, you have no additional surprises.
Thank you. Private property product is aimed at giving a bigger voice and reach to our developers, and Leogem Property has a great relationship with private property, and we are just so excited for this time that you've taken to chat to us. But just talking about the relationship that you have with private property, can you just please elaborate on this, and how do you feel like this has really helped the brand?
Certainly, Mandisa, and as a developer, we look for as many avenues as possible to get our product out there, and we can do it through our own marketing, our own efforts, and having a very efficient sales force, and having a product that people can come and visit. But to draw people into it, we need to make use of outside or alternative mediums as well. And the online property environment and through private property is where we can cast our net further, where we can showcase our property to people who are maybe not in our area and don't drive past and actually see our development currently as it is under construction and happening. So for people who are not particularly aware of it, the only way we're going to get to them and reach them is through a medium such as private property. And then private property has also taken it to a level where they have improved relationships with ourselves. We have our developer side of it, and then we're on the residential, the normal with other agents, estate agents, and to showcase our properties over there. The portal we found is fantastic. The use of the 3D Matterport videos, the way we can put our high definition, high resolution images on there, and it really just gives a professional flavor and a professional viewpoint to exactly the clients we're looking for and the product that we're delivering.
Merrick, it's been such a pleasure to have you on the show today. And just in closing, do you have any last remarks, any advice for investors and buyers in this time that are looking to invest in 3-4 bedroom units that you do offer?
Yeah, all I can say is to everyone, we're located in Crowthorne. There's log on, find us, come and visit us. My staff are here to assist and to guide you through. And we're effectively and essentially very proud to present what we got. And we have a finished product. It gives more confidence to people instead of buying something off plan where they can only wait and see what's going to happen. Well, we've done that. We've created it. We have the entire phase 1 done. And phase 2, as you can see, if you walked around our development, is under construction. So this is also when buying into development, one thing I always have a real concern about is that large developments are generally built over a number of phases, and you could essentially be living in a building site for a really long period of time. And that, to me, is not conducive to good lifestyle living. So small development of ours, such as 159 units, attention to detail, attention to lifestyle, and getting yourself completed within a relatively short space of time so people can enjoy what they've bought and not have the concern about dust and noise and other things that you're going to get as a result of living on a building site. The other thing as well about living on a building site is that you're not going to realize your true investment, because if you're in a development that's getting built over a period of 5 to 8 years, for example, you can't sell effectively in that period because you're going to be competing against the developer. Whereas where the developer is finished and you own your units, should you decide to sell in the average period they say is what's between 7 and 10 years, you can realize some return on your investment whilst you've used it. And there's no more construction. It's a completed development. I think that gives comfort to a lot of people, knowing full well that it's done, not waiting to be done.
Sure, Merrick, well, you have definitely sold me on these family units that you'll have available. I just obviously need to start a family for that. But thank you so much for being on the show today. Such a pleasure having you on.
Thank you, Mandisa, and I appreciate everything that Private Property have done with us and this joint partnership. It's invaluable in terms of the way we conduct business, and we look forward to a long future, as we have had in the past with Private Property. And thank you for your show.
Thank you so much, guys. So just remember that if you have any question for today's development that we did speak about, that is situated in Midrand, a 3 and 4 bedroom house, please remember that you can drop your questions down on the comment section and we will be sure to answer them. If you are looking to buy, sell, or to list your property, that you can go onto our website. That's www.privateproperty.co.za. Stay tuned, guys. We will be back tomorrow for another show with another developer discussing more on development opportunities that are available in this time. Make sure to stay safe, stay home, and stay warm. Thank you so much.